Hey guys. Alright, we're back. Just wanted to keep it light, keep it friendly, keep it original here. I have an originator, an OG in the space, the YouTube space. I am blessed to have him, grace us with his presence as I grace you with mine. Basically, I've been watching him for a very long time, and he helped influence everything that I do musically, because the way that he thinks about things is so different. And I appreciate everything that he says, even if it's, not exactly what other people were thinking. And I just like how much he is himself. Okay, so yeah, this is introduce yourself, man.
What's going on, man? It's the Rap Critic, aka Johnny Maestro, aka, the Lyric Killer, aka, because I'm always on to something else, you know what I'm saying? What's going on?
The Ghost of Isaac Hayes?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, the very Ghost of Isaac Hayes. Look, I'm always known as something else, so you know what I'm saying? I always got all these mononyms, you know what I'm saying? I be forgetting them and remembering them, you know what I'm saying? Some I ain't even dropped on y'all yet, you know what I'm saying? So it's like the rotating library and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? The Wu-Tang library name generator in my head I got going. But yeah, I'm the Rap Critic. I review rap songs. People also pay me to review movies too, because that started happening and I like watching and talking shit about movies, so I do that too now. And I also make my own music, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the fuck I want, so I do that. I just be doing what I want to do. I just be life in the way I want to life,
Dude, yeah. Your posts are always so positive on Instagram. Every time you post something on your story, it's always super positive, and I'm like, damn, life is good. Life is good, man.
Well, that's just what I happen to see, that I'm like, all right, well, this is terrible, I feel like this. I'm trying to pass on good vibes, you know what I'm saying? But, I also try to, talk about hip-hop related shit just to get the algorithm to send me more of that, because, I love just talking about hip-hop and hearing the conversations and shit, but,
Now, here, I got a question, like, does the algorithm bother you? Like, do you think about it a lot?
Yeah, of course, but it's a tool like everything else is a tool, and like a tool, it has the power to be used well or used badly, you know what I'm trying to say?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I always wondered that, because, like, being at a level that I don't understand, like, it makes me just wonder what goes on in, like, your mind before you post anything, you know what I mean? So...
What do you mean in terms of, like, posting a new episode or something like that?
Yeah, kinda. Anything, really. Like, cause...
Well... I mean, if you're asking about me specifically, like, look, I grew up kind of, being an entertainer, you know what I'm saying, in terms of, like, always wanting to do music, acting, comedy, like, just all types of shit, I try to stand up and stuff like that. I tried it like 3 times, and 2 times it went really well, which happened to be the first 2 times, which is very surprising.
Wait, what do you mean? Like, are you talking about comedy?
Yeah, stand-up comedy. I did it in North Carolina, and then it went really well. Then I did it in California twice, and it went well the first time, but I kind of chunked it the second time. But still trying it out. So I was trying to be brave and trying to not have my shit with me, and then immediately I forgot my shit. I'm like, motherfucker.
Oh man, they caught you lacking, but it's okay. It's okay. That's the name of the game.
Look, we've been like tree and wind. That's what comedy's all about, baby. It's not about like, oh man, always being the perfect and shit. No, it's about like figuring out what works, adapting the shit, and then reacting accordingly. The sport of comedy is fun to me. You know what I mean? In terms of like, oh yeah, you have to bump. That's how that works. Like, you figure out what you do. I'm just surprised that I actually did it well the first 2 times. But I have a fucking bone on me, so
You gotta take some pride in that.
I Dion Cold that shit, where he would just like look down at his shit and be like, alright, what's my next joke?
Yeah, you gotta own it sometimes, because if you don't own it, you just end up looking a little bit, like you're floundering really, but you're not a fish out of water at all, You know what you're doing.
At the end of the day, it's all entertainment. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like when I do, going back to your point about like, what do I think before I post anything? The problem with social media, for me these days is that it's like, it is essentially, but it's like life theater, essentially, because it's like, you know, like in theater, it's like, all right, there's a curtain, and it goes up, and now we start the show, and then the curtain goes down, and now we're done. And then you can see me in real life, and we can talk, and da-da-da. Problem with the internet and social media is that it's like, you know, it's still a medium. It's still kind of presenting something as a piece of entertainment to see. And so it's like, all right, but the curtain never kind of goes down. The curtain can just kind of be open whenever, you know, or whenever you want to open the curtain, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's like, just when some shit is going on that they, you know, maybe just talking kind of stupid about because they don't really know all the facts on it or some shit like that. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, shit like that where it's like, oh yeah, people just kind of talk because it's like, well, you can make your curtain anything. That, like, that's my problem with social media when motherfuckers will be like, can you believe that this guy on Twitter said this? I'm like, wait, who the fuck is that? Why does it matter what they say?
Yeah, right.
Who cares what they say? Why am I being told to care about this?
Down to the pure minutia of the internet news. It just goes down further and further. Each niche has its own sub levels, and it goes to sub levels. It's like the iceberg. Everyone has an iceberg, and people are always breaking down icebergs. When the fuck?
The problem with news is that anything can be news. Like, you can point a camera at anything if you want.
It'll be like the cameraman that's making the news goes home and starts doing his own YouTube about the news he just did, and then like his nephew is also streaming, and like it goes down that deep. Like all I know is there's like a statistic, you know.
It's just a reflection of real life, right? They're just recording their real life, which again, you can do if you want and be, you know, like doing it all the time. But like for me, I'm like, all right, I post when I feel like I have something to say. You know, like I said, this shit is all a tool, and it's for you to use either well or badly, right? Like, and I mean, we've seen it. You know what I'm saying? Where YouTube channels with motherfuckers are like, we're a really happy family, or we're a really great couple, and I'm going to give relationship advice, and then
Will Smith,
you know what I'm saying? Or that was Family of Five or whatever the hell it was. It's like, you know, this is the shit that happens because, well, I'm going to project a reality because, of course, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, because it'll.
Like, everyone wants to look good, but then like reality can come crashing down, and like this is the way that we can use social media, right, to project something, or we can just use it to be like, hey, I just want to update you on the cool stuff I'm doing. And sure, everyone has problems in their lives, but you know, we can all regulate ourselves emotionally, which is what we should be doing. But you know, the internet isn't like a fucking television channel where like, no, this thing can pass through and this can't. It's just like, I don't know, whatever you want to say.
Yeah, for real. It anything goes kind of on the internet, and it's still like you might not know it, but it is still like a wild west. Dude,
you know the days of glancing stocking was looked at as something shocking, but now God fucking does.
Yeah, it seems a lot more tame. Huh? What do you say?
It's insane how like that was written in like the 20s to be like a cutesy sort of like, oh now like they show bras in movies, you know, the 1920s. It's like, yeah, man, they didn't even fucking know.
No, they didn't know how far it could go. Nobody knew.
The reality of the fact is, all of this is just about like this is gonna feel like the most random fucking thing, but the reason why I got onto this is because I was listening to an episode of this podcast called The Villain Was Right. Shout out to that podcast, by the way. And they did an episode on Jurassic Park, and they were talking about, you know, when that book was written, splicing was kind of being, you know, considered a thing at the time to do, like LGs or what have you. And you know, there was a question like, is this
Crichton?
Huh?
I forgot the author's name. I wanted to shout out the author, Michael Crichton, I think it was, or something like that.
But the point being is that like they were talking about, like, is this good or is this bad to use? In the podcast, one of the guys is like, I believe a scientist himself, and he was talking about how like, well, you know, like if we talk about like tools that we have, like fire, for example. Fire is a very powerful tool, and it absolutely has been used to help the betterment of society. But at the same time, you know, the fire can get out of control. You know, the Chicago fire, like that is the reality of the fact. Like, fire can absolutely destroy a city.
Dude, the California fires, bruh.
Exactly. But now we have more knowledge about how fires work to be able to control them and be better about them. So
apparently not. Apparently not, though. Apparently not.
But that's like not a. Wait, was that a man-made fire? Oh yeah, didn't that happen because of a fucking gender reveal party, or was that last fire?
No, that's all fake news. Trust me. There's no actual, like, I don't know the actual cause, but it's probably a myriad of reasons. It's not just one thing. It can't just be one thing. Because that was crazy.
Well, because fires do naturally occur. That does happen because it gets
for sure.
hot. Like, yeah.
Dude, lightning hits a tree and it's done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
but the fact of the matter is, like, within our society, for the most part, we have fire everywhere all the time, down to lighters. These things exist. We don't go like, oh no, we got to stop using fires because there was a couple of fires we couldn't, No, you like figure out how to like use the tool well, and then you go from there, and then you let everyone know this is the knowledge of how to use that tool well, right? Like, and that just goes with everything. Like, these are all just tools that we are using, and we can use well, and we can't use badly. The internet, for all of its flaws, is still something that can be used well. The issue only becomes when people are using, like, the monster all along was man. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. The worst of us.
You know, you don't want to get on that because, see, and wouldn't the worst of us like that to be the scapegoat, right? No, it wasn't me. It was the technology that.
Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah, but you still make a choice, you know, at the end of the day. You know. Yeah,
supervillains don't happen by accident.
Well, supervillainy is all about. I mean, I've been listening to this Villain is Right podcast, and it's so interesting how, like, when you think about things from the villain's perspective, it's like, yeah, there's a reason why they're doing what they're doing. They're just being assholes, and they don't care about what other people think. That's what makes you a villain. Like, doing what you want isn't a bad thing. Doing what you want at the expense of other people's health and safety, that's when it becomes a bad thing.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And when you don't care about that, now you are a supervillain. Like, yes, every time you large corporations do some shit and you don't care about how people feel, that's what makes you the supervillain. Not just that you wanted to make money, that you don't care that you're affecting people's lives negatively.
Yeah, Elon Musk. Yeah,
or all you corporations in the 90s that were like, oh, we've done the research and we figured out that this is actually making people fat and we'll kill them with, you know, this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
Instead of making our stuff better, how about we just push the decision off on the customer to have to choose the right food?
No, fucking diet pills and shit. Like, the amount of prescriptions that are pushed on commercials just 24/7 are fucking insane.
But it's a runoff of a culture that doesn't want to help people actually figure out how to, you know, basically
get better.
It just wants to sell you the next cure and the next cure and the next cure, straight up and down on some fucking Iraq blowback shit. Like, oh yeah, we solved this problem with this, but now another problem's showing up, and now we'll paper over it with this, and now that caused this problem, so now we'll paper over it with this. And
exactly.
Now we can just keep it problems and keep being here forever and never actually solve anything.
It'll be like this.
New problems we can make money off of, you know?
No. It'll be like this. It'll be like, you get the commercial for the pill, you know, and then you read all the side effects and you're like, okay, that went by pretty quickly. I didn't really catch any of that. But it says to ask my doctor, and the doctor's like, I don't know if you're allergic to this or not. What do you want me to do? Try it, find out. And then you do, and then you get super sick and go into a coma for like 4 years. And when you come out of it, all of a sudden you hear this commercial like, did you try such and such, you know, medication back 4 years ago? You remember? Now do you want to sue them? And then it's like back to back. It's always back to back.
Which specific corporation hurt you? Because this sounds like a specific story. What's going on?
No, yeah. It's literally every single one of them. Like 8 years later, you'll hear like, do you have breasts now?
Oh, by the way, did you know that, that stuff we've been painting our houses with, apparently that was a bad idea. So
dude, they put it... It was in the gasoline. Lead was in the gasoline till 1997.
Whoops.
Till 1997.
You want to get some money?
You want some money? Who doesn't want money? This is America. All we do is sue. Sue left, sue right.
But we're not going to... Oh, wait, did you want us to solve the problem? No, we're not going to do that. But what we can do is give you some money years after the thing happens, give you like a placard or something.
Yeah, right.
No, but here's... Have you ever heard of this movie called Undistinguished Gentleman? Here's the thing about reality, all this shit. It's an Eddie Murphy movie.
Okay, I fuck with Eddie Murphy. I love Eddie Murphy.
It's not one that did really well, but it got to like the root of a lot of how corruption works. You know, people act like it's like, oh, a big conspiracy, but the reality is, the fact is, it's just a bunch of sides of an issue not wanting to do the right thing for their own selfish needs, right? Like, they were talking about like, oh, you know, in the 90s, it was like, oh, power lines to too close to school? Is it going to cause problems? Kids at this place are getting cancer because of these power lines being too near school.
What?
And, you know, basically, no, this is the heart of the movie. This is, you know, like a plot point of the movie.
Okay.
And so Eddie Murphy is like this slick talking dude who's like started off as this hustler pimp sort of dude, but then whoops, he gets like, you know, through some sitcom misunderstanding, he gets into the White House as a politician essentially, and he kind of like figures out like, and he essentially is like trying to get some slick shit done for himself, and kind of realizes that, oh, that's just what everyone is doing. So he just kind of asks around to like this one guy, like, hey, what do I want to do if I want to get, you know, this done? It's like, oh, you kind of go to that room and you know, make a proposition for this. It's like, oh, okay, so I'm just gonna go into that room and make that proposition, and then he just kind of starts moving it. But then there comes this point where like I said about the trees and about the cancer from the power lines affecting kids at the schools, and like, you know, that measure comes up and it just kind of gets unanimously kind of, you know, pushed aside from the left and the right. And like Eddie Murphy kind of goes to that guy who's been showing him the ropes of things, and he goes like, whoa. It's like, hey, why is no one doing anything about this? And he's like, there's just, you know, no incentive for you to decide to do anything. And he goes like, and he stops him again. He's like, hey man, it's kids with cancer. Like, what's going on? Why is no one motivated to do it? And then the guy just tacitly explains to him. He goes like, well, okay, so if you want to deal with that, you're first going to have to deal with the corporations who aren't going to want to have to move their power lines. So that's going to be your first issue. You're going to have to run against them, and like, they're not going to help you. Then you're going to have to deal with the parents who might not all agree on the idea that we should move the kids away from the power lines. So now you're going to have a split decision on that. So you're going to have none of one side. You're going to have maybe half of the other. And it's just essentially not going to be worth it at the end of the day. So the kids are just going to have to get cancer because no one's going to do anything.
What?
No one's going to be motivated to do anything. And it's just like this sort of moment of like, whoa, shit. Like,
wow.
This is how this works.
See,
and
that's
like, they're not exaggerating anything.
No.
How this works.
Like, Hollywood makes movies, right? And my dad always said that there's a reason that Hollywood makes the movies they make, because they know that it could happen at any point. So, like,
movies, all art in general is just a reflection of what's honestly already happening, with just an exaggerated degree.
Art imitating life.
Things just become more like, oh shit, like the thing that they predicted, but just we're kind of observing a more, you know, simpler version of. And
that's why Luigi Mangione. That's why Luigi is.
Yeah, Luigi's
you know what
Mansion.
I mean?
We need to free that mansion.
Shout out Luigi's Mansion.
Straight up.
I actually looked up. I looked up if his last name meant mansion, just because people were making that joke, and I feel stupid for doing it. But
yeah, it's Italian because it means O-E, and then like mangione. Yeah.
It actually isn't. I don't know what it means.
Wait, what does it mean?
I forgot what it meant. I forgot. It's been so long since I looked it up.
Mangione.
Yeah, that happened last year, right? I think it happened like last year.
Yeah.
Dude, time fucking flies. Time fucking flies, bro. I started to realize that the older that I got, of course.
Yeah. I mean, you don't realize it when you're younger because you haven't been standing in the time long enough.
No, yeah, but also a part of me like wonders if time fluctuates. Does that make sense?
Oh, well, I mean, look, the reality of the fact is we're simply observing the universe around us as best we can, as best with the tools that we can. So, of course, either time fluctuates or like space expands in a way that we're not aware of. Like, just recently I went to the Air and Space Museum, and they had this special with Neil deGrasse Tyson kind of like talking over it, and he was talking about how like the universe is constantly expanding in a way that everything is moving away from each other, so that when we're observing other galaxies, like they're equidistantly moving away from us as far as we're moving away from them. And it's like, you know, think about that. It's like, okay, that is happening in the universe, and when you know, look in the universe, there's apparently matter, there's dark matter, and then there's like dark energy, which is just like, we don't know what it's doing, but it's like the web of everything.
It's
like
the opposite.
That is constantly expanding. It's like, imagine, like, what if we're all just constantly expanding? Like, what if we're constantly getting bigger? We just don't know it because everything is getting bigger.
What if it's like this, right?
It doesn't matter. You know?
Since we're both moving at the same distance or whatever, obviously we're gonna not notice, or even if we did notice, that's interesting. Like that kind of confused me there when he said everything's moving and expanding. So like if it is, then how can we notice it expanding if it's like, you know, moving at the same pace we are? Does that make any sense? Because when you're
Well,
moving
I think it's because
and something
I
else
think
is
it's because-
moving, it doesn't look like it is.
I think what he said is like our ability to observe how far away that they are moving away from us is like it looks as if we are moving the exact amount away. Look, you're gonna have to go to the Air and Space Museum. And
No, yeah.
Alright, I'm not gonna.
Well, what if I brought that to Neil deGrasse Tyson and he was just like, oh.
He was just like, oh man, it's just some bullshit they told me to read. I don't know.
He's like,
man.
oh fuck, you poked a huge.
We're all just guessing, man. I don't know.
You poked a huge hole in my logic. I have to go back to the drawing board.
Well, I mean, but the reality of the fact is, science, it's one of those prescriptive versus descriptive. It's like science isn't, God's law coming down to us to tell us what reality is. Science is humans' observation to try to figure out what's happening.
And everything's a
knowledge.
theory. Everything's a theory.
Yeah. Like the reality of the fact of how bees, we didn't know how bees flew for the longest time, so I guess they didn't fly because science didn't know. It's like, no,
exactly.
We just didn't know yet.
We just didn't know that it could happen. And now it's happening in front of you, even though the laws of science say otherwise. So figure that out.
But the laws of science are just inferences of the world around us,
Oh yeah, for sure. Like the first
it's like,
person.
This and that seems to keep happening. So I guess it's like, gravity seems to work like this. Unless we go down to a small enough molecular level,
right?
Something seems to break down. So maybe there's a rule that's different, or maybe things just fluctuate in this, reality of things. But
Dude saw an apple fall and was like, "What the fuck was that?"
I want to fuck all this bullshit about this science or whatever. We want to talk about hip hop.
You want to talk about some hip hop? All right, I listened to a little bit of Will Smith's new album recently. Did you know that came out?
Oh my god! It was really quick, man. Jonah, it doesn't mean big eater or glutton in English. It translates to English and from Italian to mean big eater or glutton. But
interesting.
Because it comes from mangiare. Yeah.
Oh yeah, manja.
Which means to eat. And a little bit of Italian for you. But anyway, hip hop. What we thought, this is the perfect intersection of the things that I do. To talk about language and hip hop and scientific, philosophical bullshit.
Oh,
but anyways.
We talk about it all on Life, the Universe, and everything.
Will Smith, that fucking new album, it was actually fucking incredible. I couldn't goddamn believe it. I was sitting there like, okay, let's see. He's gonna have a couple of songs that are gonna be okay, and then it's gonna be, you know what I mean? People are gonna overhype it because it's like, and then I listened, I was like, oh shit, this is actually really.
This ain't bad. This ain't bad.
Look, I'm willing to throw my hat down. This might be like one of his best.
Oh yeah, for sure. I actually haven't listened to the entire Will Smith discography there. I'll be honest.
Well, look, as a hip hop spelunker, I gotta tell you, I most definitely have.
I actually own Lost and Found though. I own Will Smith's Lost and Found.
So here's because let's go through it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, here's the Big Willie style album. Because let's go from the solo albums.
What about the one with DJ? Oh, okay, solo. I get you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Just have a, you know what I'm saying?
It's fair. It's only fair. It's only fair.
Yeah. This is a specific new era. Of
no soundtracks though, right? No soundtrack albums, though, right?
Well, there are songs from soundtracks on the albums.
He never did the whole soundtrack.
No. He only ever did like a lead single.
Oh, fair enough. He is a more single guy anyway.
But my point being, so the first album, incredible, Big Willie style. The only tracks that I would say are maybe duds are I'm looking down, maybe Yes, Y'all, and I Love You. Everything from Y'all Know, Don't Nobody Make a Holler. That was a dope intro. Then Getting Jiggy with it. Then Candy. Then Chasing Forever, the love song. I mean, it's kind of awkward that it's about Jada's biggest now, but the shit he did was awkward because it kind of sounds like it's still about her. But never mind that. You don't have to think about what it's about. That's the other and all that shit.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, the universe for Hitler, cute cancer, Morty. Just don't think about it. But yeah, you got Don't Say Nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was a don't say nothing. It's like, hey, look, if you don't want to admit, that I'm on top, you know what I'm saying, then I won't say nothing either. You know what I mean?
That's like before the Yin Yang Twins. You did some whisper shit right there.
And then Miami, come on now. Yes, is always, okay. And then I Love You was like the kind of like the spited lover sort of thing. The skits were killer. It had fucking Jamie Foxx on this shit. Come on now. Like, yeah.
Did he have Ben Stiller on there too?
I don't know, maybe. Yeah.
No. I'm thinking of Limp Bizkit. My bad.
Fucking the 90s. But yeah, and then you had Big Willie Style with Left Eye and the Men in Black.
Hey, shout out Left Eye.
That was absolute classic. There's like maybe 2 not bangers on it. Then you get The Millennium. You got I'm Coming. Then you get Will Suitcase. Here and I like it. Shut up, don't act like you don't like this.
My boy is into this album. Was that one of your favorites? Was that one of your favorites, like growing up?
I do think that. Which one? Let me look through this album because it was Da Butter with Lil Kim, which was kind of an awkward. Like, all right, these energies are matching what you're doing. You know what I mean?
I'm glad you got your phone out, looking up this stuff right now.
No, I'm on my computer. I'm looking out of there. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hell yeah, multitasking.
Oh yeah, we gotta do it. We gotta. We're going through different universes of thought right now.
Yeah, we gotta do it for the people, bro, and everywhere. Yeah.
Do this shit within an hour. Apparently, I thought we would have more time, but that's okay.
No. Yeah, man, we could do it all night if you wanted to.
Well, I do actually need to do shit, but your boy's got the ADHD, man. All right, I gotta actually try to figure out how to use my time while I'm standing in it. All right.
I got the ADHD too, brother. Don't worry.
But yeah. So what is it? Can You Feel Me? Call Me Up was a dope ass back to back. Oh, I like how that song is still credited as DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
Shout out
Spotify,
Jazzy Jeff
because DJ Jazzy Jeff is on that track. But yeah, let me see. So Fresh. I'd say maybe Freaking It Out. That was his Eminem diss response where he's like, "You think I'm soft or like micro soft like Bill Gates?"
Ew.
Like, okay.
That sounds like a micro penis.
Yeah, exactly. And then there was the awkward. And then I remember Who Am I being okay, especially because of Tatiana Ali, Afro Angel. It's not on Spotify, but I remember that one being a good track.
It's not on Spotify?
Yeah. For some reason, Afro Angels isn't on Spotify. Let's talk about it. Let's get some noise up for this Drew Hill feature track. What the fuck's going on?
They probably couldn't clear some sort of a sample or something.
Yeah, maybe, probably. Then Partners, I remember that being about friends, but I just love how it's spelled, that 90s. Partners, Potnas, my partners.
Speaking of friends, I couldn't find any of Biz Marquis' albums on YouTube Music. Can you believe that?
Yes.
I mean, that's kind of crazy. I
definitely can believe that these websites that don't give a shit about the preservation of music.
Okay. I figured someone would have been handling his estate though and trying to do some sort of, digital.
Don't nobody give a fuck. Here's the thing. Like, when it comes to like movies, don't nobody give a fuck about the preservation of movies, man. Like, Netflix only wants to, tell you about movies from the 80s and forward because that makes the most amount of money for them. And any film company doesn't give a shit about preserving your shit because you actually have to because it was done on, old film shit that's really delicate. So you actually have to do a whole bunch of printing it to put it onto a DVD
you have to dig it out of an archive. You have to take it out of some sort of attic.
You have to be a company that actually gives a shit about the movies and stuff that's in your vault, and all you're doing is just scrounging for whatever money you can for however long this fucking industry lasts, so you can jump off on your golden parachute when the fucking thing goes tits up. Okay, we know these fucking money bugs don't give a shit about preservation of art. All right, in all venues, so we just gotta have to do it ourselves with sampling and all that fun, sexy stuff that human beings do to preserve the things that we love.
Facts.
But back to this fucking Will Smith album, because we gotta talk about it, because I'm actually kind of feeling like, maybe the Millennium joint isn't as great as I remember. So I'm like, wait a minute, I don't remember that joint being too hot. The No More, I don't remember what, that was kind of like, did I remember that one?
Kind of iffy.
Then you get Born to Rain. which I feel like is one of the weakest ones. Like it does have black suits coming, nod your head. You know what I'm saying? You can't deny that one. But and I remember Born to Reign being cool. But like, yeah, that one doesn't have as much going for it. So that I feel like that's the weakest one. Then you get Lost and Found, which is like, all right, we're kind of back a little bit. He's gone PG, almost G-rated, honestly. That's which song I listened to recently. It is insane how much he's like, hey, I'm coming up in the club and I like seeing girls this good, but hold on, you don't have to like anything or anything. I mean, we're not trying to like do anything a little.
No, bro, I saw Todd's video. About it, and I was just like, yo, I have to listen to this album. And yeah, bro, it's insane. The album is fucking crazy. He's right. It's biting from a bunch of people, which is, I guess, fine. I guess he does that, you know.
Yeah, and he's never been, no one's been calling him like a, OG style. He's always just been kind of like the fun mainstream party guy.
Yeah, he's been a party guy. Yeah, just like Biz Markie.
Like,
shit.
Yeah, you would call him like the originator. Like, it's only in the way of like, the originator of like, I guess doing a storytelling style, but in a really sort of fun, G-rated way.
He's the originator of switching from music to acting.
Sure, but hey, you can't even say that first because that technically was Ice-T,
Was it? Ice-T was an actor?
Yeah, Ice-T was doing shit in the mid to late 80s.
Well, he actually switched to metal before any rapper did too, so what the fuck?
True, Ice-T was on that shit.
Yeah, he was on that MGK shit before fucking MGK.
And it's weird because I always considered Ice-T, growing up especially, to be like, oh yeah, I guess we're supposed to respect him because he's like, godfather of gangster rap, but it's like,
right.
His voice was cool, but the flows were always kind of awkward and wonky. So it was just like what's going on here? But then you realize, like, oh, that's because he's one of the first ones going back from when hip hop started, going from being about, just making the party hot to being like, no, we're going to talk about some real shit.
Yeah, some social issues.
Yeah. So this guy is like grandfathered in from when people weren't even expecting hip hop to be that deep or lyrical in the first place.
He said 6 a.m. police at my door. Right?
Yeah, 6 a.m. the police at my door. Fresh Adidas squeak across the bathroom floor. It was still like the dope storytelling, and that's what they used to call hip hop back. I mean, the hardcore shit back then. It was called reality rap. It wasn't called gangster rap.
If you want to take it even further, we could talk about Rudy Ray Moore. You know what I'm saying?
And now we're going into just like the roots of everything. We could talk about this, and we could talk about that.
But full circle because of Eddie Murphy movie.
Oh yeah, put a little tiny man in your butt. Go ahead and put me in your butt. You heard that right? Put the boogie in your butt. Put the boogie in your butt.
No, but now I understand. Now I understand that what in the butt song a little bit more.
Yes. I think that was a reference to that because
it ought to be. It ought to be.
Murphy did a parody of early 80s rap. And it was just like, you put a little tiny man in your butt, put a big fat can in your butt.
But Rudy Ray Moore was in the freaking 70s, and he was making his own movies, like Master P or some shit. Like, what?
Oh, very true.
That's a real originator right there. But even then, he took it from bums. He took it from the bums.
Look, that's all fine and good about the history of hip-hop, but I gotta get back to this Will Smith, because I'm fucking... You know what I'm saying? Because, like, all right, we got the weak-ass Born to Reign, you know what I'm saying? And then he kind of brings it back a little bit with Lost and Found, you know what I'm saying? We got, he's a nice guy. Like, again, like, I like how he kind of is trying to imbue his personality, you know what I'm saying? Trying to really talk shit about the Wendy Williamses of the world, trying to talk shit on them, you know what I'm saying? And going at them. So it's like, I like seeing him have a little bit of a biting edge, but it's still, like, cheesy in a way where it's just like, it's not balancing well in a way that I feel like he was able to do a lot better before with previous albums, And maybe that was partially because, like you said, he was like just borrowing people's styles at this point, which again, you know what I'm saying? No one's expecting Will Smith to be in the top 10 rap list or what have you. But the point being is that it's honestly some proto Drake shit, which is like, it was probably some shit where Nas was writing for him or Rakim was writing for him. That's what the story or the case may be. Or I think Nas absolutely did write for him. Nas and Ludacris wrote for him, but I think Rakim didn't write anything for him. I think for the Summertime song, he was just imitating Rakim's style, the transform, just a bit of a dip from the norm, like that was him trying to like get on that style, which I think is interesting. It's sort of like, you know, Fisher Price, my first rock him flow when you listen to Summertime Again, you know. But yeah, going back into it, like Lost and Found, like I said, I feel like this is him, but he's too. This is the Disneyfication. This is the Flanderization of Will Smith at this point on this album. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not bad, but like this isn't like this feels like no, it feels like him, but it feels like a very sort of like cartoonified version of what he is, I think, right? So Lost and Found and Born to Reign, and Not So Hot. Based on a true fucking story though. Fuck those last two albums, man. This shit is fucking flames. You got fucking the barbershop intro shit where he just fucking leans into the like.
So good.
Oh, and you hear all this controversy about what's
So
going
good.
on. I was like, yo, this man really fucking went there. It's like, you know what? Fuck it, we're gonna lean into it.
It all really flowed too. It all really flowed too.
Right.
Like with how many voices were on that track, like, you know, there were multiple like vocal tracks that they had to line up. So like that's really impressive to me. I've done that. I'm like on skits and shit when I'm the only voice. I've had to do that, like line it up and think about what's a natural reaction to this. You know what I mean? And
right.
It was all really, really smooth. So commendations to them.
And let me see, what was it? The Rave in the Wasteland? What the fuck? And the intro to it with the Reverend? I was like, what's going on?
I gotta listen to the album. I only got like a couple of songs in, and I got a little distracted by the LL Cool J album. The new one, the Cool.
Oh my, wait, yeah, all the legends are fucking coming back, Jesus.
I know. Snoop Dogg just dropped something with Dr. Dre. Did you know that?
That's true. Yeah, I listened to it. Yeah, we did a review. I did a review of it. Yeah, live listen. Look, people request shit on Kofi.com/rapcritic if you want to make your requests. You know, people request albums, and I'll just be like, yeah, whatever album you want. And then every now and then people will be like, all right, review that new album. And I'm like, well, all right, I guess people are talking about this, so yeah, sure.
Do you have like
give my funky 2 cents, you know?
Yeah. Do you have like a list of things that you have to get to still?
Oh, absolutely. Rap Critic episodes are all the fucking way backed up. That's why it's priority requested if someone wants to request a new Rap Critic episode at this point. Because it's like, well, there's just so many people in the queue, so you gotta just have to give me a little bit more money just put yours first. Because, I mean, come on, let's be fair. You know?
If you want to, go ahead and plug like your prices and stuff like that. Like, go ahead and tell people, like, really quick. Go ahead.
I mean, Kofi.com/rapcritic. Right now, people mostly would want to do the live streams because that's what you'll get the soonest. So we actually had to change the prices because there's getting one too many demands right now. Like, look, there's only so much time I have in the month to do the shit. You know what I mean?
That's a good thing, though. That's a good thing, though.
Yeah, right. Demand skyrocketed. You all saw it. But for song requests, it's $5. Live streaming an album, just like an album that you want to listen to, is $40. Absolute best of playlist is $45, and then 2 for 1 for a best of or 2 best of requests or 2 albums. That's $60. So I love doing the best of requests, like going through people's music, you know, especially guys where it's like, oh, I've always heard 1 or 2 songs from them, and now like going through to actually hear like what their shit sounds like, what their actual style is, what are the gems that people are missing, you know, like that's just fun for me to do.
I'm a little bit confused. Like, what do you mean by like the best of? Like, do they have albums that are like greatest hits and you listen to that?
So no. What I do is I'll go through an artist, like, well, either if I already know their music, I'll just like compile what I think is like, all right, this is what I think would be, you know, if I wanted to show someone the type of music that would get them into their music, I would show them this, right? But if it's for an artist that I don't know, like I go through and listen to their songs, I go like, like what would be the stuff that I would show someone that would get someone into this artist? Because a lot of times, you know, if you just listen to an album, you know, a lot of times artists aren't bringing their best absolutely on every song, like, you know, through the run of an album. A lot of times you find their shit, like, you know, you as a fan of them already, well, you're kind of used to the tracks that may not be the best of their best, but you like what they do, so you enjoy that style. But if someone who's not used to what they do hears that track that's a more basic version of their style, they're not going to be into it, you know what I'm saying? So my job is to kind of like dig through and be like, all right, what's the shit? Like, Insane Clown for Posse is the perfect example, right? Like, 80% of their shit is murder, kill, nonsense bullshit. But then I like digging through and finding those songs that are actual, like, concepts that are about something interesting. That's like, oh, wow, like, no one would ever make a song like this other than this group. So, like, I want to show you this song so you can see, like, what they're capable of when it's not just the typical shit they do. You
Dude, I love your Diamanda Hagen's reviews with all of them, literally all 4 of them. I fucking love those, bro. I rewatched them so many times. I rewatched them.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's good people.
She's amazing. So are you. Shout out. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna say though, do these people that request things, are they like independent artists, or like do they request like Fat Joe's like greatest hits or something? And like,
well, sometimes people request their own stuff that they want me to listen to. Like sometimes a couple of times people have requested their like rap songs for me to listen to, and I like to give them like honest reviews and listen to it and be like, okay, what did I think of this? And be like, like, all right, this did really well. I like that she did this. I like that. I try to give them as like real a thing. I try to be like, my whole thing is giving an artist a chance. You know what I'm saying? And actually going like, okay, if something is whack, then we're gonna get to it. But like, let me actually see where they're coming from. You know what I'm saying?
You're a fair person. You're very fair.
Yeah. I am hard, but I am fair. You may not like me, but the more you hate me, the more you will learn.
You're the dark souls of critics. You're the dark souls of rap critics.
There's no racial bigotry in my camp.
The Elden Ring, man. You're the Elden Ring, man.
I look down on white rappers, black rappers. They're all equally worthless.
I get down on mumble rappers. I get down on motherfucking backpackers. I get down.
Right? You can all catch these hands. They are rated E for everyone.
I love that, bro.
I talk about the specifics because it's like people always, get caught up in their fandoms and don't really like to really think about why they like something and the image of what it means, like something like, oh, if you like the simple mumble rap type of shit, and then it kind of becomes this thing of like, no, I gotta be defensive and say, no, you just don't care about it. It's like, no, you can admit when they say something stupid or silly or whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
The thing about it is, there are people who can do that style and do it well. So like, my argument is that it's like, there's a hierarchy to all this shit. The mumble rap, the story rap, because you've heard story rap or lyrical rap where you're just like, wait, what the fuck are they saying? They're just saying words and just like word sounding all over. And you've also heard like, quote unquote mumble rap shit where the shit was actually really fucking good. And it's like, they didn't say no deep shit, but it was just enough well done on the groove. That's what it needed to be.
For
like
sure.
That fucking joint, I'm tripping on a yacht. Like that shit fucking goes. And it's not that deep, but it's like, I want to be on a yacht and listen to that song.
I want to trip on a yacht too.
Yeah, music is a tool just like everything else. And I feel like when a tool is like, when you can perceive that the tool is being used best, especially when it comes to music, that's when you're kind of able to go like, oh, that's a really good tool for that emotion right there. That's a really good tool for that vibe. That really hits that vibe really well. And the lyrics and all of the things and all of the parts of it work in concert to build that up. And hey, look, we can have the dialogue of like, sometimes some bits of it don't work so well. Sometimes they say, what the fuck did you say? Did you say, blow me like a cello? Like, what the fuck was that? You know what I mean? We can talk about that.
Hey, can I plug myself really quick to you?
Sure.
Like trying to sell you a pen when you don't need one. Freaking, I have playlists that I made on YouTube of different like rap artists and stuff like that I think are their greatest hits. So if you ever get a request for like 6ix9ine or Suicide Boys or anything like that, you know what I'm saying? I have them. I have them. Just in case.
Good to know.
Yeah, of course. I should put them on Spotify. They might get more listens.
Well, true. But going back to it, like I do request also private requests. Like people will ask me to give like private notes on shit. I also do like rap coachings where I like kind of like coach people with their flows and shit like that. I've got like one sort of person that I'm working on like improve punching up their flow and shit like that. Just getting people aware of like how to. Like, basically the secrets and shit that they keep from you in the ivory towers of music schools and shit like that, just
is it working?
Shoot. Yeah, I mean, like, I see people improve when I, like, show them, like, oh, yeah, if you, like, think about this, be aware of this when you're thinking about your flow and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And just people react. And, of course, like, being a teacher, it's like people move at different paces in terms of, like, they'll get one thing, but then they won't get another thing. And so it's trying to be like, okay, maintain understanding that while doing this.
Is that what you do?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I like doing. And, I'd like to do it more because I feel like there are so many artists out there that are like, they've got interesting ideas, but sometimes their flow is a little wonky, and so they go, oh, I must be whack and I can't do anything. It's like, no, like, keep trying to improve. And, like, it helps to sometimes have someone who's like, no, there are actual conventional ways of thinking about how your flow works,
right,
and the techniques of it, so you can work on that and then build onto fun, weird, different shit. Because, like, a lot of people can come to it organically of understanding how to flow, but not everybody can, right? And so it's just about, like, giving people, I'm like the fucking 36 chamber out here, right? I'm fucking, you know, this is supposed to be only 35 chambers. There is no 36. We can't teach the Wu-Tang style to, you know, more pupils. That will, you know, dilute the style and it will make it impure and give it. And I'm over here saying, like, no, we must teach the style to more young men. That's where the knowledge of hip hop may spread, you know?
Well,
like,
the whole point, the whole point of the 36th chamber is that it's not to be unlocked by any ordinary man. So pretty much everyone can only get to the 35th chamber until they get to you, and then you may allow, you know.
Right. You know what? I like the bending of that metaphor like that. I like that.
It's
yeah,
like you're the number one headband, and everyone has to get to number 2 anyway. So it's like pretty much you're number 55 or 56. You know, you just don't know until you get to you know.
But see, the only reason I don't consider myself a great person. It was just I was like realizing the tips and tricks that came from just like singing and shit like that and how they were blind. But they told me to not apply them because one is a high art and one is a low art. And I said no. They must come to me, but I will show them. It will only be taught to those who wish to seek out the abilities to improve their rap flows. Facts. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Real quick question though. You said that you were rehearsing for an opera. So like, what opera?
Yeah.
What opera is that?
It is The Merry Wives of Windsor. It's based on the Shakespeare thing, and I'm just playing a bit part in it, but you know, I'm getting paid, so I'm not complaining. You know, just using my technique to get some, you know what I'm saying, scrounge some dollars at you. You know.
Oh yeah, of course.
But yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, it's basically an early sitcom show play. Like all the sitcoms that you saw in the 90s are like basically a takeoff of this, of like, oh, there's a jealous man and oh, he's trying to catch his wife and some asshole is trying to like write letters to married women, and so the married women are like, wow, he wrote a letter to you too? Oh, we're gonna like teach his ass, you know?
Oh,
like,
shit.
This whole plot, you know?
Back when women had like rights but also didn't have rights.
Like, you know, that era of feminism was allowed to be, you know? It's like,
yo, my bad. I didn't mean to.
And you still gotta do all this, but at least you can like play tricks on your husband sometimes, I guess.
Oh yeah, bro. Like Phyllis, like poke out the goose feathers between his pillow before he fell asleep, and he like goes to lay his head down, and you know.
Now, of course, the point of the entertainment. See, that's the thing about entertainment, right? Like, it's not necessarily, you know, reflecting back at you exactly what the values of what you're supposed to believe are, right? Sometimes it's trying to say something about that, right? Like having the jealous husband. You know, the point isn't to be a jealous husband. The point is that the jealous husbands are fools that are going to be made a fool of. You know what I'm saying? In the show. So, again, that's this era's version of feminism.
Okay.
Like, don't be a jealous asshole.
I know
your wife's going to make fun of you.
Yeah, right. I know you're a fan of comedy. Did you know that Bill Burr is currently playing a character in Glenn Ross?
That's weird. I like Bill Burr for the most part, definitely. You know, I tune into his podcast every now and then. But he lost me with that fucking movie. You see that Old Dogs or Road Hogs? Or
Old Dads. Old Dads.
Yeah, I saw that shit. I was like, dude, really? This is like the stereotype of what people think you are.
That's true. It was very stereotypical.
My kid wants to be whatever gender they want. What's up with dad? Like, come on.
I didn't think that was what it was about, honestly. But like, there was 3 different stereotypes in the movie. One was the angry dad. One was the old dad with the young wife, and the third one was a guy in a loveless marriage. You know, trope.
Was it just the Italian dad, Sebastian Maniscalco?
Yeah, that good. he was the one. He was the one in Loveless Marriage with with a bad kid. He had a bad kid.
Yeah.
That would like hit people and wouldn't apologize and stuff. And then when he was like trying to discipline his wife would come out of nowhere and be like, all right, we're gonna relax, you know, we're gonna do this, and it's gonna be okay.
Men are being emasculated, am I right? Yeah. And now we gotta think about their feelings. It's just like, Bill Burr, you're better than this.
No, yeah, he wrote it.
I like this.
Yeah, right. He wrote it with a dude, and he said that recently he's got another movie, or at least a script finished. So we might see another movie from him in the near future.
Well, here's my thing. Like, if they're cause like I said, I like getting messy. You know what I'm saying? I'm a spicy motherfucker when it comes to my entertainment. I like digging into that. Let your character be kind of a reprehensible piece of shit, and we're kind of like making fun of him again in that fucking Merry Wives of Windsor. Look, we're tying it all together. You know what I'm saying? Comedian del arte. Like, you gotta have the guy who's not the good guy so that he learns the lesson in the movie. Right, that's fine. But the way that this movie was like so set up, it was so supposed to be portrayed as like, no, this actually is smart, and he's cool for thinking that it's stupid that your kids want to, you know, fucking wear a dress sometimes. You know, it just felt so like, oh, come on. Like, I know your comedy doesn't do this, so it's weird that you're doing this. Like, is this just what you think is funny? Like, you know, because it's like, I don't even think he thinks it's political. I just think his brain is just stuck in Van Wilder movies, you know?
Right. I think that they did the idea better in Modern Family when Jay Pritchett was supposed to be dropping off his newborn-ish son, like 4 or 5-year-old or whatever, at like this vegan daycare or whatever the fuck. And he was like, I don't really understand all this. You know, hugging and holding and understanding their feelings. If a kid falls, you know, he scrapes his knee. That's just it. Pour some beer on it, you know?
Like, that's being hyperbolic about the... Yeah, in order to make a point.
The
right?
old
like,
generation, the old guard, you know, losing their medals left and right, but their medals, you know, never really meant anything to begin with, because what's a war without actual sacrifice? Why are you even back here? What we were supposed to do was kick you off to the front lines, and you were supposed to get riddled, and then, oh, you're a sob story. No. You came back, and things didn't, you know, actually pan out the way you thought they would, and now kids are wearing dresses, getting gender reaffirming surgeries, and you just can't handle it because the world you grew up in is so warped to begin with, you know?
When I grew up, you didn't have a choice. You had to feed boy and to get house, and that was your only choice. And now people just get to choose what they want. What the fuck?
No, yeah. People just can't comprehend the idea of a difference, and that's like a different America or a different you know, upbringing in their own. It's just like, oh, well, I had to work so hard, why don't they have to work hard? It's like, because we realized working you too hard caused them suffering. So
right.
Exactly. So now we have to take it down a notch.
So you have to too. I already went through it, so you have to too. Everyone must suffer. Like, this is literally supervillain shit.
No, like, you saw what it did to you. You saw what it did to you. Why would you want to do it to your kids? And it's like, oh, a kid doesn't understand anything without a good hard day's work on the farm.
That's what they say, you know. I do not mind. I just want people to also suffer.
Exactly. Go out there. They're like, go out there to that field and milk that horse. Or they're like, help me birth this calf. And it's just like, Dad, I don't have to do that. We live 5 minutes away from a Walmart. It's like, what the fuck? I don't have to farm with you. I can literally go to the store. It's like, no, you need to learn these lessons.
And look, what we need to learn is that things change. You know what I'm saying? And some things stay the same. Just like Will Smith's lyrical ability from album to album. Look, I tell you, you said you hadn't listened to it, so I kind of don't want to spoil it for you now.
No,
yeah. Definitely, the album really works. The only not as bright sparks are the song with Joyner Lucas on it, because he's always less interesting than you think he's going to be.
That's how Joyner Lucas is. You know how I got introduced to Joyner Lucas? You want to know how? I got introduced to Joyner Lucas on fucking Facebook. He had a song with the A, B, C, like, rhyme scheme or whatever, and it was A to Z. And it was him rhyming A words, B words, C words, D words. And I was just like, oh my God.
Like that. Yeah,
it blew my mind. It blew my mind at the time.
The first ones that he did were kind of fun, but after a while it got about like, is this all? He's got like a gimmick rap thing, and then other than that, he's kind of not that interesting.
He's topic based.
Yeah, but it's like, if the topics had like something really interesting going on in it that really made you think about the situation, that would be cool. But a lot of times it's like, oh, what if $100 bill was passed around? And it's like, $100
what if white man and black man enter room and discuss race?
Yeah, but they're not really gonna like say anything that deep about it. Just the white guy kind of gets to rant and be virgin to racism, and the black guy kind of pushes back but slightly affirms some of his racist points.
Says like, the N-word, then goes, I'm not racist.
Yeah, like, what are we watching? Like, you think they were gonna build on that and be like, nah, dude, like, it is racist as fuck, and you need to understand, like, this is the reason why. Like, and actually talk about it and maybe have a conversation, get him to try to understand. My problem is, I think that Jordan Lucas wasn't thinking that deeply about it and just kind of wanted to do this is the era of the time, let me just do a record like this. You know, and just kind of made a generic version of it and didn't really examine the shit, and so it ended up the way it ended up, you know?
Quick question for you. Have you ever grown up with white people that have said, oh, the N-word just means ignorant, that's why I use it?
No, I've never heard anyone say that shit, but I've heard black people say that it means like an ignorant, you know what I'm saying, an ignorant motherfucker, and that's why they still say it or what have you, but, you know, that's specific in-house context, you know what I mean?
I had a bunch of people growing up being like, oh, the N-word doesn't mean, you know, offensive black person or whatever, but it just means ignorance, so that's why I say it, because like any person could be an N-word, it could be a white person or this person, and I'm like,
this fucking Clerks 2 porch monkey, we're taking it back bullshit.
Man, bro. I've never seen Clerks 2. Never seen Clerks 2.
There was this whole bit where like Randall is like, he couples someone a porch monkey, and they're like, whoa, what the fuck, what did you just say? Like, yeah, my aunt used to call me that all the time. And it's like, and it was one of those like, well, the aunt is clearly racist and just also happened to use that word to refer to him as well, you know? But it's just like, I mean, that's just, you know, ignorant people, they're not that smart, they just kind of say words. Have we figured that out yet? Like, sometimes they'll just say words because they don't have that much expansive of a vocabulary, you see, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Once you learn something, it's hard to unlearn it, you know, especially when it's like, that's why, like, racism, I believe, is like, you know, parentally taught. You know what I'm saying?
Racism is funny because it's so stupid, because it's like, it's literally just going, I saw one person like a certain way, so that must mean they're all like that, and yes, that makes me a smart person.
That's some people's experience, but also, they could be like, oh, we're a eugenically, like, superior race, and it's just like, bro.
Yeah, oh, it just happened to be you? Oh, what a coincidence.
Like, literally,
that other race is the superior one. It always just happens to be you. Right. Just like the religion you were born into, huh? It just happened to be right.
Yet, if you go and look at actual tribes in Africa, they are running down gazelle and shooting them with bows and arrows. Just pure muscle mass, you know what I mean? Just eating raw flesh, and they're doing fantastic. We can't even find their stomach culture, their genetic like biome or whatever, their bacterial biome. We can't even find that in the most healthiest of people. So like, how the fuck do you actually know what's actually happening if you can't even survive skin cancer? You can't even deflect UV rays, and yet here you are saying you're the superior race. Brother, you can't step outside of your summer home. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, it's actually crazy, the fact that they think they're genetic, and like, I know black women die
like the Elon Musk motherfuckers,
right?
You know, like,
right, and like black women proportionally die more in like hospitals because of possibly some outdated information on race, black men and black women, which is fucking insane. Why are you looking to like 180-year-old books on, you know what I mean? Like, oh my god.
Well, again, because it's like, we assume that the way, like, this is just like, it's one of those things like, oh, is science good or bad? Like, no, science is a tool. It is understanding things based on how much we are able to observe. And the problem with a lot of what people were observing in the past they were kind of racist and biased.
Nothing else.
More about it as time goes on, and we're able to separate the wheat from the chaff. And the problem with people is not being able to update their gray matter, because someday it may matter. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my god, I sampled that. I sampled that shit. That's fucking what's his name? Del the Funky Homo Sapien.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my god. I sampled that in like 2016, 2015. Oh my god, bro. You just brought me back.
On that Future Easy album that's gonna be coming soon. You know, I just gotta tinker with this side and that and make sure all the parts are done and shit. But there's definitely some new shit on the horizon coming through, because I love making music. See, we are not the same. Me and you motherfuckers on the internet out there, you make music because you want people to think you're cool. I make music because I don't give a fuck.
Hey, man. Hey, you gotta... Wait. Hold on. Actual question really quick. Have you ever heard of Nakey Jakey?
No, Nakey Jakey.
Yeah, you've never heard of Nakey Jakey.
Oh, Nakey Jakey.
Yeah.
I've heard of this gentleman.
He makes music too, but his beats are fucking crazy. I'm not kidding.
Is he Jakey on Spotify?
Yeah, Jakey. Dude, I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, his most recent album, Rom-Com, not all of the beats, but like the first 3 and I think the last 2, fucking some of the best beats I've ever heard in like the past 10 years.
I've seen this guy's picture as a meme to be like, sort of like, oh, this is the shit from the dude I'm listening to, and showing this really like sort of like,
No, I know. He doesn't like rap the best. He doesn't like sound the best or whatever, but his production, his fucking production is absolutely insane.
We got another Tribe Called Quest on our hands. Where, like, man, production's incredible. Just don't pay attention to what he's saying that much, but that production's incredible, man.
What the? No.
All right, let's talk about it. Okay.
Bro, I'm telling you. He really has some of the best production, bro. I swear to God.
Look, I'm not doubting it. I'm just saying that, like, I've listened to so much trip hop where it's like, oh man, this beat's incredible. Oh, new job is. Oh man, this beat is awesome.
Shit.
And then there's just some guy yammering in the background, like, I'm climbing mountains and I'm going over trees and I'm going over the what the fuck? Like, come and get someone who actually knows how to rap on these things. Like, come on. Like, you're doing a disservice to your own beats, man. Like, I hate to say this about
God
your job
damn
at his best, but like, God damn it, that shit always pisses me off. It's like, you got these really incredible beats and you just got these guys just fucking around.
No, I do understand. That's why I want to try and get in contact with him and be like, hey, yo, produce a fucking album for me, because I'll go goddamn ridiculous on that shit, bro.
Oh, new job is?
No, Nakey Jakey.
I was gonna say, like, he's dead.
I know he's dead. Rest in peace. I know he's dead.
I mean, rest in peace.
Oh, bro, Fat John did a lot on those albums, though. Fat John did a lot on the Samurai Champloo albums. Shout out to Fat John.
Oh, God. Love that fucking show. Love that soundtrack.
I got that shit on Blu-ray. I'm looking at it right now. I'm literally looking at it right now.
That's in the trilogy of, fucking Cowboy Bebop and Boondocks for the things that, the Black Anime 2000s kid had. And optional Afro Samurai DVD.
Oh, I have that too. I actually just bought that. I just bought the Steelbook. I just bought the Steelbook Blu-ray.
You don't need that second one, though. You can keep that second fucking
Oh, the Resurrection? You talking about Resurrection? Don't talk shit about Resurrection.
Dude, that was awful. You know what? It was more of what it was, and I just couldn't rock with it. It was just like, okay.
I get it. Because it was only supposed to be 5 episodes anyway. So, like, them going and making a movie, that's just like another 5 episodes. And then they made it, like, lose everything. Yeah. It's just, it's a massive trope. It's a massive cliche.
Like, how many times can this man be the number one? Like, you know what I mean?
Twice, apparently. Twice.
But no, it's the difference between watching Kill Bill and watching The Man with the Iron Fists. Like, I love your
brother,
but I don't think you can make a movie.
Holy shit. Here's the funny thing. I've never seen Kill Bill, Volume 1 or 2, but I have seen Man with the Iron Fist. I've seen Man with RZA.
Look at you, watching the runoff, please.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm a huge Quentin Tarantino fan, too, so the fact that I haven't seen Kill Bill...
Look at you.
I know.
I hope you can't sleep and then you dream about it.
God damn it. Yo, actually, all right. If Stan is the greatest thing that Eminem has contributed to fucking hip hop, then what the fuck are we doing calling him a top 10 MC? What the fuck are we doing? Because Stan is a negative. It's a negative pronoun. You know what I mean?
So he introduced something that, hey, OPP is a negative thing when you think about it.
No one uses that. No one says that.
In the 90s.
People say
op.
People say op, and that means an opponent or an opposition to you. People say that.
No. Wait. You know what OPP?
Other people's
in the
pussy.
90s, people said that, of course.
No, yeah. Actually, dude, you didn't listen to my second. You didn't listen to my second podcast, but I ranked all the Eminem albums in that.
As a matter of fact, I did.
I ranked.
Because I was like, oh, he's gonna talk about Eminem. What's going on?
Yeah. What'd you think of my tier list?
Hold on. What? You thought I was gonna come into your podcast and not know what the fuck is going on?
Oh, I know you're the rap critic. I know you're the rap. You're the hip hop hover. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. I knew. What did you think? What did you think of my tier list? What did you think?
Look. Okay. Here's the thing. Here's the reality of the matter. All right, we're gonna talk about it right now.
I shouted you out in it too. I was like, I know Rap Critic would hate me if I fucking was praising Encore right now.
You're talking about Encore. Get out of here. I got your point. I got what you were trying to say though. Like okay. I was like, I get what you're saying in terms of like you reached the apex of your lyrical ability. You just dropped a movie. Where the fuck else do you have to go? Right. But just fucking. Just lose it.
Literally the complete opposite. The complete opposite.
But I think there's still something to be said for quality control because Eminem has been a wacky boy before, but it still worked in those other tracks, right? Like it's not like he just started being wacky. He was just still he. The thing about Eminem, this is what I like about Eminem. He is an all-rounder. You know when you play a fighting game and there's always the characters like this guy's really good at doing like projectiles. This guy's really good.
Any Sonic game will tell you the same thing. Any 3D Sonic game will be like, oh yeah, he's the all-rounder. He's the fast one. Yeah. He's the strong one.
Eminem to me was an all-rounder. He not only had punchlines, but he also had flows. He also had a bit of a sing-songiness to it, so it was kind of catchy.
A little bit. He
also had some really good production sometimes when he wasn't doing it. He also, you know what I'm saying? Like he was an all-rounder in terms of like his output from the Slim Shady LP. You know, you can say that the previous LP is not as good because, of course, he's still like trying to figure out his style and coming into his own, right? But like Slim Shady LP is dope, and I think Marshall Mathers LP gets better. I think the Eminem Show is the fucking best that there ever was.
Okay, so we at least agree on that. We at least agree on that, right?
Now, why? Tell me.
Tell you why the Eminem Show is best?
Wait. We agree that the Eminem Show is the best one?
Oh, yeah. I said we agree on that at least.
Oh, I was about to say, I was like, wait, what's going on?
No. No one can deny that.
I just, because the Slim Shady was just like the fucking crayon on the album cover. That was him being a kid and just being a shitlord.
That's like a third, like bronze medal. You know what I mean? That's like, okay, you can be better.
Yeah, Marshall Mathers LP was that pissed you off? I know what I'm doing now.
In a weird way, he's even more childish on that album than on Slim Shady LP. In a weird way, because the way you react to things is 90% of, you know.
I get what you're saying, but I think it's, especially with Insane Clown Posse, but that's a whole can of worms. But like, I feel like he's more channeled in. He's more like he knows what he wants to do.
Well, that's why that skit brought it down to me. That's why that skit on Marshall Mathers LP 2 also brought it down. And Kim brought it down so hard. But actually, now that I'm looking back on it, the skit with Insane Clown Posse is funny. Just that one line where he goes, give it back to Shaggy. Shaggy was doing it better, but yet, what's his face is on like 80% more of their music. It's just so fucking funny. It's like, I would rather be listening to Shaggy too, though. You are right, Eminem. You are correct.
They basically sound the same, but you know, Shaggy can have more fun personality to think sometimes. But
his voice is better too. I honestly, just no offense, Insane Clown Posse, but you know.
I feel feel like Violent J is the more creative. We're talking about the fucking difference between Insane Clown Posse members. Violent J is the more, I feel like the more creative one. Shaggy is the funnier one, right?
Yes.
Like at the end of the day.
Yeah, and when it comes to a duo, you really need balance. It's like they're the outcast of the white rappers. Because, I don't want to call Violent J anything close to Andre 3000, because Andre 3000 is actually making their instruments, their instrumentals.
And you can't call Big Boy anywhere close to either Shaggy.
No.
These are definitely competently better rappers.
No, but the only thing I could think of, the only thing I could think of, either that or Tribe Called Quest, because if they had a consistent producer for them, then that would be better.
I've said that too. Like a Tribe Called Quest is like it's a Called because it's like, it's a Tribe Called Quest, but it's mostly Q-Tip.
Right. And they have a festival, though. They have a festival. I'm not going to denote the festival because that's another really big thing that only others like really, really special artists can do. Like Tyler the Creator could do it. Yeah. That's the first person that came to mind. Does anyone else have some sort of festival that they do?
There's someone, Travis Scott, he's got one.
Astro World. Well, that went badly.
Yeah.
That went really badly.
Hold up.
Rest in peace to everyone that passed away at the Astro World concert. I don't mean to laugh at any sort of plight. It was just timing that did it.
Yeah. No, and also incompetent, showrunners.
What about Woodstock? Limp Bizkit, they were I think headliners at Woodstock at one point.
I mean, that's an awkward one because it's like, as you watch the footage, it's like, they didn't help. But they're like, if everyone's mad out there, don't give a fuck and jump up and da-da-da-da. I was like, he exaggerated things didn't help. But the fact of the matter is, where Woodstock 99 was taking place was wasn't on this hot ass military base where it was concrete or something like that, and
I don't know. I heard they were throwing mud. I heard they were throwing mud at one point.
But the point being is that it wasn't in the same place that the original Woodstock was, where it's it's grass. Yeah, people can just kind of sit on in the sand, hanging out under a tree if they get too hot or whatever. Right. It was it was at a place where people were more likely to be rowdy. The concessions were really expensive or something like that. So it's one of those deals. But going back to the Eminem shit. I mean, we're talking about fucking Will Smith. Will Smith and Eminem. Look at that. A fucking
Well, Will Smith did reference Eminem, in that one song, and Eminem referenced Will Smith.
Who did it first? Because I know Eminem.
Will Smith don't got to cuss in his raps to sell records, but I do. So fuck him and fuck you too.
Although I love how he technically kind of admitted that he has to be controversial in order to.
I know it really came. It came around. It came around to bite him in the ass later. It really did. It really did.
Look, I'm always the person who's I don't give a fuck. I watch Pokemon and Digimon. You know what I'm saying? I listen to Insane Clown Posse and Eminem. I don't give a fuck about loyalty to any of you motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Good music is the good music. If you give me the good music, I'm listening to it. If you give me bad music, you know what I'm saying? We gonna talk about it. But going back to the Eminem albums, I feel like Slim Shady was the start, then Marshall Mathers LP's second, then Eminem Show is the best, then Encore is fucking doo-doo, it's fucking dog water. But it is, I remember, so that's the weird thing I felt about Relapse. It's Relapse is better, but I feel like Encore has better songs. So that's a weird way I've always felt about those two albums. The more I look into it, where it's Relapse has a better average of how good the songs are, but Encore has more valleys, but also better peaks with songs like Mosh and what is the other joint that I liked on there? People like Mockingbird, but I don't like that as much. Oh God, Weenie and Raymond. These really are fucking valleys. God, good Lord, I'm trying to remember what the song I did. Maybe no, because I was head popped off. Jesus Christ, maybe spend some time. I don't fucking remember. But the point being is that with Relapse, I can name oh God, that song is 3 a.m. was like, okay, he's doing horrorcore.
Okay. Hold on, I just came back. You're talking about Relapse?
Yeah. I was saying that like Relapse is a better like over average album, but I feel like Encore has better songs on it, but ultimately has more valleys that kind of make it a worse experience overall, right?
I just thought Relapse wasn't as memorable. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like I get what you're saying in that, but like I feel like it, because like I get what you're saying in terms of like memorability. Because like I said, I feel like these songs are about average. But the thing about it is, they are at least holding the line of average. Where I feel like Encore is just like wonky, stupid, and it's just
dragging behind. I understand.
Yeah,
I do. What songs don't you like off Encore?
Awesome. I was like, because I was looking, I was like, Mosh, I like Mosh, and then I was looking around, I was like Toy Soldiers. That was the other one. Yeah, like Toy Soldiers is definitely one of his best tracks.
I was gonna say Mosh sounds like a leftover from Eminem's show.
It's not like his best. Like if it was on Eminem's show, it would have been the weakest track. But because it's on this, it's his strongest.
It's one of the strongest.
But
White Trash Party. Wasn't White Trash Party on Relapse?
Huh?
Wasn't White Trash Party on Relapse? I was trying to reference
that was actually on Recovery. But I like that song. That does what it does well. Whatever.
His rhymes in that I thought were really fun, but not the chorus.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah. His left hand was a little bastard. If anyone asks, it ain't nothing but a stress. Like he had a problem with like hooks really too fast on that album, right? Like
on Relapse. Or Recovery? Yeah,
Recovery, yeah. Like, Recovery was a well-made album, like, and definitely better than, Relapse, but it definitely had a sort of, like, his lyrical ability was there, but his personality felt a little sapped out.
It was weird, though, because it seemed like he dumbed down for the audience, but, like, he did it in a pretty clever way, because there's still hints and glints and glimmers of the old Eminem that we have come to love in a way.
Yeah, but Encore, like, are you gonna tell me you listen to Puke? Are you gonna tell me you listen to this is supposed to be my first single, but I just farted in your ear? Are you telling me you go back to that one? Are you telling me you go back to Rain Man? I'm gonna do Impatience of a Man Who's Meant to Be. Are you telling me you go back to Big Weenie? You're a big weenie. Like, are you listening to that?
I don't go back to those songs, but in the context of the entire album, of it just being a shit post, because he's so good lyrically.
God, the internet's gonna do this. TikTok is gonna discover Encore and be like, actually a masterpiece.
Actually, it was only like 20 years until it was considered as good as Illmatic.
just because of the melting, rotting brain of the internet.
Yes, because it's just like, what is he talking about? Like, you don't know what he's gonna say next. That was the most unpredictable album from Eminem, besides Revival, because I only listened to that shit once, but it was enough to make me like, what the fuck is going on?
Walk on Water was the sort of like, this is well done for Eminem, but this isn't exciting. You know what I'm saying? Except for that last 30 seconds where he tries to go like, bitch, I wrote fans. That's why you should still respect me. It's like, all right.
Brother, the crumpling paper should have been done album 1. Like, what do you, like, the sound effect, like, of him scribbling, he did it on Stan. And yet, it was like, okay, that's cool. Then with the rain sound effects, you know what I'm saying? Like that, it's really painting a portrait for me. But him sitting over, malazing over this goddamn song, this is not the song you malaise over. This is not the one that you dump emotion into. And even the one he did for his daughter on his most recent coup de grace, like, this is just not, it's not it. That's all I'm trying to say.
No, not at all. And you know what pisses me off? I think this is the reason why. Because this album is so, like, whack in the middle of it. Because I was like, oh, do I like Untouchable? Well, no, I remember I like Untouchable. The hook of Untouchable, he does that a lot, but, let me see. River was a sort of like, okay, this is what the Ed Sheeran song is going to be.
No, you're talking about Phenomenal. I think you're talking about Phenomenal. Are you?
Oh, that's what I was thinking.
Are you Phenomenal?
Okay, that's a different one. Yeah.
That was for some movie. I think that was for a movie.
Yeah. But then, like Home, I actually liked for being the, like, oh, I'm embarrassed of America and that sort of thing. But Bad Husband was fucking awful.
Dude, any song he makes about a woman is pretty much terrible.
Yeah, awful. The track with Pink, I remember being like, how is he doing songs with Pink that I don't care about? Like,
Won't Back Down is enough. Won't Back Down is definitely enough.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
But then, but I think I had a fucking amnesia thing because the last 2 tracks of this album are fucking awesome. Castle and a Rose are fucking incredible. And I think what happens with this album is because I end on those last, you know how this is like the way you end it, you know, that can leave the best impression on you. You know what I'm saying? Because
no,
like,
but you need a strong beginning. You do. Any real good story, you need a really good beginning and a really solid end. Because that's the foundation of anything. Like, you know, they said they built the pyramids from the top down. That's how I think it should be for an album too. You need the last song to be the strongest because that one makes you want to go back to the beginning. That one is
unlike
gonna make
Kamikaze, which ends with
oh fuck, fucking Venom.
And fucking the two songs before that are a song called Nice Guy and Good Guy.
No, those are terrible too. Those are that was crazy. What's crazy is I put that above, you know, everything that we had talked about because, like, I like the beat selection, but like I should have dropped that shit. I should have dropped that shit a level.
Here's the thing: it starts well. That's the problem.
Right.
If you look, the song with the most views on it, other than Venom, is The Ringer. Well, and Lucky You with Jordan Lucas.
Here's the thing.
But like,
I don't know what the fuck the youth are doing if they're listening to Venom. Gotta Venom.
Oh my god. Yeah,
I don't know what the fuck is happening. That's the second most listened to song on that album. What the fuck?
Yeah, but The Ringer and The Greatest, those were the sort of 1-2 punch of him. Like, oh, I'm willing to talk shit and do whatever. You know, so it's kind of like a whoa, what the fuck?
But he pulled it. He took it back. He took everything he said back, low key.
Right? Yeah.
I should have dropped it. I should have dropped it another fucking level. I should have dropped it another letter grade. My bad. You know, I'll take the L on that.
The Music to Be Murdered By, I feel like that's him again, half cocked.
Can I tell you a funny story? Can I tell you a funny story really quick? All right, so I used to work at this thrift store called Savers. You ever heard of it?
No.
Okay, well, I used to work in the Webster location here in upstate New York. And I used to... I don't give... All right, I used to steal shit out the back all the fucking time. But I used to work with these 2 dudes that worked on the loading bay, filling up trucks and stuff with forklifts. And one of them was a huge Tom McDonald and Eminem fan. Stan, I should say. Yeah. I found that out. He was very political. But you know me. I'm an all-around type of guy. You know what I'm saying? So, me and him were cool. Other dude was cool. And before I left that job, I gave the Eminem Stan Music to Be Murdered By A and B because I had the double album. I had the deluxe. Only to find out months later I still had the CDs because I didn't put them in the CD case. And I felt so bad. I felt so bad. I was like, I didn't know an Eminem album could make me feel this bad.
Fucking monster, man.
I know. I feel so guilty. I was like, oh yeah, bro. I know you like Eminem. I didn't really dig this album. I didn't really dig this album. Do you want this, man? He's like, oh yeah. Thank you so much, bro. And I was like, yeah, man. No problemo. And then, fuck, bro. I feel so bad.
Well, I was gonna say, Marshall Mathers LP2, I think ranks up there. I think I'm honestly kind of, this is what it is. If you're a fan of Eminem, I think it's right neck and neck. If you're not a fan, I think it's below the first one. Because a lot of it relies on you directly giving so much of a shit about the first album.
Well, not really, though. Not really, though.
I mean, Bad Guy is the sequel to Stan, you know.
Right, but that song is... Alright. You know how you said Mockingbird was like him just walking into the studio and just doing it off the top, like just right there, no practice. That's how Bad Guy sounds to me. Like he doesn't have a flow in mind, and he's just trying to fit the words, whatever the.
Yeah, this is a problem with a lot of late period Eminem, where he's like shoving rhymes into awkward places, and it's like it's supposed to sound impressive when it just sounds strained and constipated.
It sounds amateurish. It sounds it's you know what? It reminds me of when Earl Sweatshirt all of a sudden started to sound like a fucking amateur after I Don't Like Shit, I Don't Go Outside. And I was like, bro, I was making this music in 2015, and now all of a sudden you want to sound like you're brand new? What the fuck is that? The loops are choppy and fucking. Anyway,
he's not trying. He's not
putting my bias aside. Yeah, Eminem, freaking. I thought that was crazy. I thought that was an insane song. And then for him to end it with the, Stan reference, it's just like, this didn't need to be made, in my opinion. I didn't need a follow-up to Stan. I already understand what Stan was about.
No,
now I'm supposed to be...
But I like it. I like it as a sort of like, a reflection on like, especially at the end, where he's like, I also represent all the bullies you hate that you became, with every effort you slaughtered.
That was when the worst flow happened to me. That was when I also represent every bullet you worth with the ant, and then you It's just like, bro, how is this the flow? How is this the flow that comes to your mind when you hear the beat and the fucking bass go?
Because what he's doing, if you listen to him, he's pushing on the actual rhyme. See, this is my problem. Early Eminem, he had a sing-songy flow. If you listen, the flow felt like it was like there's accents and stuff like that, but it's for the most part it is flowing along. His shit now feels like the accents are always on the run. I'm ready to get it, like
that was terrible. I hated that.
Yeah. It's so focused on the rhyme that it becomes a sort of like stick. When you have characters that are all rounders, he lost that. He became just into the rhyme category.
He's just speed. He's just speed. If this were Def Jam Fight for New York, he would just be like investing into the speed category or speed stuff.
Right. But he's doing no damage.
No,
he's not grappling.
No. Yeah, there's no headlocks going on here. I am whizzing past all of these really fast punches because you think you're fucking Bruce Lee. Like, that's just not the case. Even if you do land and connect with me and I'm thinking about the line you just said, it's, I'm unavailable, I'm unavoidable, I'm unevadable, I'm on a toilet bowl. You know what I mean? Like, that won him a Guinness World Record. Fuck Guinness for recognizing it. Fuck Guinness for recognizing that. That should not be a part of hip-hop at all. That's the dumbest shit ever.
That was a Guinness recognized rhyme for what?
He went faster than Rap God. That's what it was. And even on Rap God, he was like still talking about faggots breaking tables over. Like, what the fuck, bro? You are now 50 and you do coup de grace, and then all of a sudden, oh, my alter ego is killing. Bro, you should have done that on Encore. What the fuck is happening?
It feel like, this is like the third sequel. We should have already done this.
You try and bring Slim Shady back every album just to appease fans that don't even understand that only... Alright, this is how he explained Slim Shady to begin with. He said Eminem is Marshall Mathers, right? And he will fuck you. But Slim Shady will fuck you and your father or your mother or something. And it's just like, that's really that big of a difference? Like, what? Like, if the mom looked good, if the dad looked good, I mean, I can't blame your bisexuality on that. Rightfully, can I now? Marshall, why are you... Anyway.
But, I mean, you're right. Like, why... we're talking about so many things, but especially going back to like the flow specifically.
Sorry.
Because of like, it's like what is that? Because of what was that one line? I'm only giving you things you joke about with your friends inside your living room.
Yeah.
It's like all the stand in front of y'all now. Gotta be balls and sugarcoated at all. I just get on the mic and spit it. We made it for her. I just did it rather than 90% of you rappers out. And you wonder how he gets into the album like volume is 40. Like, it's fucking just flowing. It's just.
And what happened to it? What happened to his flow? Where did it go? You don't just lose that. You try too hard just to appease or do something within yourself that is just unnecessary to begin with. Like if people say, like, hey man, I think that you're smoking too much weed, and it's like, it's really not a hindrance to what you're doing, but yet you're like, okay, let me pull back, even though the pills were a problem. I'm not gonna deny that. I know the pills were a problem for him.
And the fame and, the pressure, of course.
Of course, but like when the pressure gets on you, this peer pressure, and it might not even be peer pressure, because the people around him were yes men. So I don't know where the pressure's coming from. It's probably just internal, but yet it's like, are you talking about me? It's like, no, we're talking about soup. Like, what? You know what I mean? And then it's just like, no, you guys are talking about me. That's like a really bad paranoia to have at the level of fame he has and success, because all he's gonna do is channel it into his music, which he's already done. Day one, he did that already.
He's one of those guys who needs an enemy, in order to channel his music,
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
But with the Slim Shady, it's supposed to be me fighting myself. But like I said, it's like I could have sworn we already kind of did this with Marshall Mathers LP too.
Or Relapse. I thought Relapse was the one where it killed off his inner demon or whatever. I thought that was what the end was about.
and here's the thing, when he was saying on top of cancel culture coming at me, he's like, what are you talking? This isn't the first year people have been averse to your music for you being God. What are you talking about?
Not even close. And then he's talking about blind people and deaf people. Like, what? Who makes fun of them?
Literally never brought those people up before.
Yeah, right. and then you're putting 15 or 16-year-old songs on it. You know what I mean? Like, man, that's just an insane move. Who told you to do that? Who told you that it was okay?
Definitely not Will Smith, who's fucking hitting with a better discography overall. Look, if we're gonna compare.
Hey, Will Smith has a better ratio on his discography than Eminem on his best day. On his best day.
Look, Will Smith has two demonstrably kind of whack albums, and three definitively 4.5 or better albums, in my opinion.
I think so. I think they're just classics. Maybe the new one might not be, but regardless, the fact that he did it to begin with is actually really commendable. Because at his age, at his level of wealth,
you don't have to branch out. And here's the thing: he could have made a whole bunch of bullshit, 2010s trap beats. You know what I'm saying?
He could have just been untapped in. He couldn't have been tapped in. He would have put out a stinker. But yet, here we are talking about Will Smith like 30 years after the point.
Yeah, I think the intro Barbershop album is incredible. The fucking Rave in the Wasteland is awesome. Bulletproof is really good. Hard Times is really good. Beautiful Skies is a great Big Sean verse in it. Like, Will Smith isn't the best on it, but it's still kind of like, all right, this still works. Tantrum, again, Jordan Lucas, I'm not feeling that shit. But First Love was good, you know what I'm saying? Make It Look Easy was a solid track. And then, you can make it in Work of Art. Two tracks that I had heard previously, and it was kind of like, so on. When I heard it in the context of the album, I was like, you know what, I'm actually like, I'm feeling where this fits. It's like, okay, all right, this is actually a song. Like, and then I was looking, I was like, well, that's the whole album. So, that's just a whole bunch of
solid
songs.
tracks.
Like,
it's just solid tracks.
Yes.
That's all you need is a good foundation. That's all you need is a solid track list. And I don't know. I don't know who the fuck's telling him. I don't know.
Yes. Slim Shady LP, solid. Marshmallows LP, solid. Eminem Show, solid. We got 3 solid ass albums. Recovery, I'll argue for. And Marshall Mathers LP. So, okay, you got 5 good albums to Will's 3. Okay, but then you got Encore. I'm sorry, not showing it love. Relapse. I'm sorry, not showing it love. Fucking Kamikaze and Revival. In time, those are now on the lower end. Like in reference to what the Olympian heights of what Eminem is capable of. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then Death of Slim Shady, get that shit all the way fucking out of here too. So now what do we? And Music to Be Murdered By. Oh man, and that tips it over. Okay, so wait.
He has 2 volumes to Music to Be Murdered By too. Just dad jokes, just dad bars.
So, that's what. That's right. It's just fucking dad bars.
Heavy duty like diarrhea. What?
Dude, I I had to stop my worst lyrics episode of that year just to make sure to include everything that I could. I was like, no, we gotta talk about this.
Hey, yo, real quick, when you were debating Dead End Hip Hop about the goddamn Lil Wayne versus Big Sean lyrics, do you change your tune now? Big Sean has an insane amount of fucking terrible lyrics.
Yeah, he does have an insane amount of terrible lyrics, but he also has a lot of really good lyrics, and Lil Wayne has an insane amount of terrible lyrics, but he has a lot of really good lyrics, and it's just like...
But here's the thing, like, you can't find all of Lil Wayne's songs.
No one can find all of Lil Wayne's songs.
So that's what I'm saying. All of Big Sean's music is on a studio label. It's doing this, it's doing that. It is out there to find. And his first 2-3 albums is just full of noise. Just full of absolute noise.
I'd have to go back through it and look at it. We're already caught up with Will Smith and Eminem, but I would just say that as whack as, because like I said, I'll still argue to this day that Ass is fucking cheeks and bad, and not even in a cutesy way. It is a bad fucking song with bad fucking lyrics that didn't even fucking try. And the best part is Nicki Minaj saying wacky, and that's fucking annoying.
Jesus.
but when he did shit with verses with Kendrick and shit like that, where he's trading bars, the only reason people don't remember it is because Kendrick shit is just so good that it becomes kind of hard to think about him.
I'll give credit to Big Sean where it's due. If it wasn't for him, that we would have never heard the Control verse.
Right.
I'll give credit where it's due.
Look, Eminem, Will Smith has 3 good albums and 2 not so good albums. So okay, you can say 3 out of 5 ain't too bad. So a little over half of a good discography. Now let's look at Eminem. Yes, Slim Shady, Marshall Mathers, Eminem Show, 3 solid albums. I'm gonna give him Recovery and Marshall Mathers LP2. You've got 5 solid albums. So what do you got in terms of the whack albums? Well, you got Encore.
You could say
A-Labs.
Infinite. You could say Infinite.
Yeah, I don't like to count it though, because it's if before he was who he
No,
was.
but it was labeled Eminem. It's labeled Eminem.
Yeah, but it's not Eminem. You know what I mean?
And I know it's not commercially available. If you go to Record Archive, or if you go to a record store, you might not be able to find the bitch. But I'm just saying.
I just feel like Mobb Deep's first album was them as fucking 17-year-olds, and their shit sounds absolutely awful. Are we really gonna count that as their first album? It's no.
That's how it was. That's how it was back then. You did not know what you were doing, and no one did. No one in the studio did either. They just all bought the equipment. Some of it was stolen from the 70s. And now you're just making albums, you're just trying to get out there, and then you go back to your fucking crib and you're like, hey, I just recorded an album today. All my notebooks right there. I only paid for an hour of studio time, but that's enough time for me to get every single song down in one take.
Well, here's my thing. I'm gonna leave that out just to give him just to give him a fighting chance in terms of ratio, right?
Okay.
Because Encore's whack, Relapse whack, Revival low end. So yeah, we're gonna count the whack. Kamikaze whack, Music to be Murdered by whack, and Death of Slim Shady fucking whack. That's 6 albums of subpar material versus 5 good albums. You're doing bad, my boy.
You're doing terrible. I mean, shit. If you want to count it, LMFAO might have better albums than Eminem does.
No. Let's not get it. That's too many things to consider right now.
I'm just joking.
But yeah, now what's kind of funny is that it kind of, it's kind of hard to map over 5 out of 5 to 11 out of 11 in terms of the ratio there.
Hold on. What other rapper has a better discography to really compare to? Because Eminem calls himself the GOAT all the time. I'm not counting Jay-Z in that conversation. I'm not counting Kanye either. So who the fuck else is writing their own lyrics most of the time? And
why are you not counting Jay-Z?
Because Jay-Z is a fuck. Jay-Z's not...
You can be a fuck and still be a fuck who made music that was relevant.
Jay-Z is a goddamn fucko, and I don't really fuck with him.
Look, reason Reasonable Doubt was a solid album.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not.
What?
He sounds just as amateurish as Eminem does on Infinite. Sounds like he's out of his goddamn league.
But that's what we're dealing with. You also have to look at relativity, right? What was coming before that, to which that looks like
Biggie?
Awesome in relation to that. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I'm just saying, how many times has Jay-Z used one of Biggie's lines?
Oh, no, you're not wrong about that. Well, see, look, now, I'm not even trying to, I'm just arguing relativity. I'm actually not the guy to be on Jay-Z's side.
So, relativity to time, he should be as original as Big was, innit?
True.
I don't know.
But
you know, I could be wrong.
All I'm saying is, he had hits, and that's what you argued for a lot of people back then for albums. He was able to have enough hits going from 98 to 93, and that was undeniable enough.
That's true. Now, Reasonable Doubt came out in 96, but freaking, what single came out? I think Dead Presidents for sure, and he sampled Nas in that, so that was like a lot of it. I think a lot of that record.
I'm arguing that Reasonable Doubt, then Blueprint, then the Black Album, then
he had so many more albums. He had so many more albums before.
I'm saying these are the good ones. I'm saying these are the really good ones. Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
So if we're gonna get into it, like, I need to listen back to In My Lifetime, volumes 1, 2, and 3.
You don't. You really don't. You really don't.
Like that, but if you're gonna have to press for a definitive answer, now I know I don't need to listen to the Dynasty Rock La Familia because that was just a bullshit compilation. But in terms of like Reasonable Doubt, okay, solid first solo effort. Okay. Blueprint, you know, solidifying like his name as like the artist, that guy.
Okay.
Then you can, because that was him going toe to toe with Eminem and all that shit. Then you get the Black Album, that's his farewell album. Then he comes back with Kingdom Come, almost fucking embarrassed of doing it because you can tell on the album kind of looks like, I'm still doing this. Then American Gangster, oh shit, a movie kind of inspires him to do something kind of interesting. So he kind of like switches shit up. Blueprint 3 was a whole bunch of Bleeps and Bloop bullshit, late 2000s bullshit.
Bloops.
You know. Then
no. Okay, actually, hold on.
Okay.
Blueprint 3, I actually kind of like. it. I know that not all of the songs on it slap. But Tom Ford isn't bad. Mother Dearest isn't too bad. What's it called? Forever Young. Forever Young was crazy to me because I listened to it on fucking my DVR. You know, I like watched the music video.
Jay-Z's flow by that point is just so slow. Like
a video. Camera's always on and it just always go. Oh man.
Like, dude, why these guys gotta sound like they're, pushing 50? You know what I mean? Like,
I get that. Like, honestly, Jay-Z has maybe like 3 really classic albums to me. That's the Black Album. Or no. Hold on, let me start. Let me go in chronological order, right? This is the Blueprint, it's the Black Album, and it's 444. And even then, most of the songs are not hits. But it's the most introspective that I think I've ever heard Jay-Z, and he's a billionaire.
American Gangster. But American Gangster is also solid too, I would argue.
You would? What songs are on that one?
Rock Boys, and the winner is dun. First of all, I want to
shit. Okay. Okay, that's a good one. Oh yeah. That's a good one. That's a really good beat. Is that all it comes down to? Is that all it comes down to, though, is the beat selection?
The lyrics, I thought were dope, too. Like, first of all, I want that, just starting with and then when it was home.
First of all, I want to thank my connect, most important person with all due respect. Yeah. Freaking, that's the issue I have with... That's the issue I have with Eminem, though, is that his beat selection. His beat selection is terrible.
Eminem's beat selection is fucking trash. It's up there with Nas. I would argue maybe Nas is actually better.
I don't want to say that because I haven't heard enough of Nas to know better, because Nas has always just kind of been a boring MC to me, personally.
I get that.
Personally. He's been a little too preachy.
You have to get into it. It's an acquired taste. But with Eminem, when he makes his own beats, they sound like fucking...
Right.
if you could turn a JPEG that doesn't have enough pixels into a beat, that's what it would fucking sound like. You know?
What the fuck? That's a crazy analogy.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Yo, it only works. You're right. It only works a fraction of the time, and it's usually when he samples someone better than him, like Elton John on top of fucking Aerosmith. Like, what the fuck, bro?
Yeah, some nerd giving those whack ass beats to 50 Cent. Like,
some fucking nerd. You got some fucking nerd. Eminem, if you're ever listening to this, you got some fucking nerve, brother. What the hell is wrong with you? Alright, I'm not gonna lie.
That was like a disgrace. You giving him these whack ass beats.
Wait, what? What'd you say?
I said, I don't even like giving him 50 Cent's music that much, but it's still a damn disgrace you giving him these whack ass beats.
Did Eminem actually make fucking production for 50 Cent? Besides, like, I don't know, maybe a couple of songs?
Yeah, like, I Got Places to Go. On the 8 Mile soundtrack, there was that one. And then, I know there's a couple of, like, Gatman and Robin, I think he produced something like that.
So you're saying Eminem has done a soundtrack before?
Well, he's done he produces tracks, yeah.
So he might be a little bit better than Will Smith, because Will Smith's never done every song on a soundtrack before.
He hasn't done any whack-ass production on a sound.
Well, he doesn't even produce, does he?
No, hey, sometimes he doesn't even write his own lyrics.
Hey, he might not now.
Shout out to Ludacris.
Get the party started. Get our party harder.
Like there is a certain delineation, like singer-songwriter, and then a certain being a performer. Like the reality of the fact is, to make music, there's different levels of the shit, right? Like Elton John didn't write the lyrics; he just wrote the melodies. Does that make him any less of an artist who's doing his side of the thing? You know, he doesn't want to handle all the shit. He wants to handle that thing that he likes. Doing, you know what I'm saying? And then there's some people who are just all around want to do both. The issue becomes when you're trying to act like you're trying to be in the running for the GOAT and the best, and you ain't writing half of your shit. Then it's like, okay, well, come on now. That's when it becomes an issue. Like, you can be the pop song dude and make it fun, make your money, but don't try to, you know what I'm saying, dabble in both lanes. Unless you're trying to show it specifically, oh, well, it's only for the pop songs where I get someone writing for me, so okay, that's fine. But when it's the ones where I'm getting gutter with the lyrics, that's me. No, we know that not to be true, you know?
Yeah, and even if you want to come down to it, like, even if people know that you don't write all your own lyrics like Kanye or Drake, like, you can still be a really successful guy. But hip-hop is rooted in actually doing it yourself. And the production might not include that, but it might now, because if you really want to stand out, like, being your own person, controlling things 100% of the way, you know, from start to finish, that is actually, like, super exceptional as opposed to, like, just being really good at lyrics.
What I would argue is that it's good to know all the levels of how to do things, but it is good to, like, delineate tasks, especially if you're someone who's like me who has ADHD and shit like that, right? Like, it's good to be able to, like, know what you need to do in case you, like, I know how to edit in case I need to edit something, but for my videos, my big videos where it's like, it's really cumbersome, I hand that off to people who who are better at being able to handle the ins and outs of how to put together a video. But I still do know how to edit videos in case there's, like, something that, like, let me chop this bit off real quick and da-da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, on all levels, it's good to have an acquaintance with shit, you know, in terms of, like, being able to write and make beats like that. Like, I don't consider myself a producer, but I can put beats together because, well, there was a time where I just didn't have anyone producing for me, so I literally, unless I wanted to make a spoken word album, I needed to have beats. So, okay, I have to put beats together.
I actually think I think I sampled one of your songs one time. Hold on. I'm actually about to go to the bathroom one more time, but I'm pretty sure I sampled one of your songs. But
we gotta cut this off. Look, we're getting 3 bathroom breaks. I think that's we've only been going on for a while.
I'll be right back. Just one more time.
Okay. Yeah, well, let me plug my shit then. Yeah, fuck this asshole. Don't ever check out any of his stuff ever, but just go to my stuff. Kobe.com/raptor. If you want to request either live streams, podcast reviews, I review movies as well as hip hop albums. So give it that, act like you want it. Let me see. I do like just song reviews and album reviews, live streams, best ofs if you want to do requests, then Patreon if you want to get access to the podcast and all those reviews, plus the new music I'm working on this Future Easy album, this Futurama inspired concept album. Look, I'm just out here doing weird shit, you know what I'm saying? Doing as I feel, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, get with it, act like you want it. Like I said, the new music podcast, the Boondocks podcast I'm working on, we just put out the 4th episode. That is exclusive to the Patreon. Maybe we'll start beating out episodes like over time, but for now, that's exclusive for there, and it's some good ass conversation that we be having. So, you know, get with all that and act like you want it. Is he back yet?
I'm back. Yeah, I'm back.
All right. Hey, how you doing?
Good,
I'm sure
good.
your incredible show will be enjoyed by the people as well. Yeah.
I hope so.
I couldn't even do a thing. Like I didn't even fucking try. Wow. Like I'm ashamed of myself as a content creator.
Why?
I guess I'll just have to deal with being below average in this aspect. Like most of YouTube slop content, they just have to trudge through and deal with the fact that they're making subpar shit. Oh well.
No, I don't think I'm making subpar shit. I mean, does anyone else think? Does anyone else think I'm making subpar shit?
No.
Speak up.
I'm not saying you. Oh, it's great when you do it.
Gun in my hand. No. I think we were talking about doing everything like yourself, and like I'm a person that likes that. I'm a person that likes going from stage 1 to stage complete, you know what I mean? However many stages it takes to do so. I actually appreciate the complete artistry involved, but I totally understand passing it off to someone if you don't know like what you're doing.
There's absolutely value in it. There's absolutely value in like trying to do it all yourself. But I think there's also, you know, certainly value in not only the collaborative aspect, but also just like understanding when people have a strength of something and being like, oh, let me recognize that is that person's strength. Let them handle that, and then I do this side of things, and then. Right. That's a lot of writing duos, right? Like, yeah, just realizing what your strengths are. And
Paul McCartney and John Lennon are a fucking fraction of the actual singer-songwriter space because they did it all themselves. Like, that's hard to do.
Yeah, right.
Or all the people in ABBA. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think one person was writing?
Sure.
Like, that's another point of who are they called? What's the name? Fleetwood Mac. There's a bunch of writers and songwriters in that group too, and they had hit singles and stuff like that, but it all came from a different person kind of each time, which is crazy. And that's how it is for like hip hop. Like if you write all your own shit, you're expected to kind of produce it and do it yourself in a way, and that's how it's supposed to come out. But that's just not the case for everybody.
Yeah, I think it's like, again, I think it's a collab. I think it's just when you act like, oh, I'm the superstar producer. Like when you act like a Kanye and say I'm a superstar producer, and then it turns out a whole bunch of people were helping you produce the shit, and then it's like, well, are you a superstar producer? Or are you one of a collab? You know, like,
are you just an idea man? Are you just an idea man?
He's literally fucking Jeff Bezos. He's literally fucking
any one of the. He's a Steve Jobs. He said he's a Steve Jobs.
He's the fucking guy in Knives Out 2 who's like, I don't really know how to put it together, but here's the idea, boy.
Yeah, but he's the one making gadgets for James Bond and shit. But yet he had like a team of scientists working on each gadget. And it's like, yes, again, this is mine.
The way I feel about it is, if it comes out good, hey, well, who cares how the slot was made? I'm not here to be, you know, your friend in this entertainment shit. I'm just here to enjoy good shit.
That's
but
a little.
Got a whole bunch of people, but if you got a whole bunch of people come together on some shit and it still came out whack, now we gotta have a conversation because, like, damn.
Yeah, if you're claiming that it was all you, then obviously people are gonna look into it. But yet, if you actually,
like, oh, you weren't able to do it all yourself, and it turns out really good. But if you admit that, like, no, you actually had help, then it's like, okay, well then that makes sense.
Right, like Sabrina Carpenter's not in her fucking room making these songs, or Olivia Rodrigo, no. Or even I Show Speed at this point, like he's not even in his fucking room making his own songs.
Well, that's what fine, because what is it? What is this? Is this artist? Is this industry about you knowing and caring about the specifics of what they're doing behind the scenes. No, that is an offshoot of what you get as a fan of something who cares about it. But what actually matters is just the entertainment itself. Are you entertained by the entertainment? You know?
Exactly. Are you entertained? Are you not entertained? It's like, yes. I don't have to know every nook and cranny of the process.
Right.
But it would be cool. I'm sure that every engineer could probably make a YouTube channel just like, this is how I made this song. This is how I made this song.
Right.
It's like
but
people would get a lot of insight.
Responsible for the sound of so many genres of music, right, that are never getting their due. The guy who produced, Nirvana's first album, Pearl Jam's album,
right?
You know what I'm saying? The studio albums, and like gave you what that sound was. Like, we don't know what those guys' names are. Like, I mean, people might know them, but they're not. It's not, oh yeah, the lead singer of Nirvana, Kurt Cobain, and that guy. Like, no, you kind of have to know that guy. You know.
Only person I could think of is like Max Martin. And he's like, just a writer on so many songs, like One More Time by Britney Spears and stuff like that. Like, he's just at the top tier of like songwriters, and he's on so many people's shits. And it's just like, it doesn't even matter. He could walk down the street and no one would recognize him. You know?
And that's honestly, that's the fame I like. That's the fame I envy right there. Just being prolific, being able to do a whole bunch of shit, and then you just go about your life. Yeah, because it is a job, and like everyone else, you should just kind of be allowed to go about your life, you know. And then maybe when you're at your, on your deathbed or whatever, or 50th anniversary or something, then people come out and be like, hey, that was great. You're a real artist. That really meant something. That was the back. Well, that's nice. Give me my award, and then leave me alone and let me go home and enjoy my life. You know?
I actually just watched a movie that made me cry like an hour or so before we started this thing. It was called Big Fish. You ever heard of it?
Oh, wow. I've heard of it, but I've never seen it. But I know it's a Tim Burton joint.
No, right? Yeah. It was, bro, the only thing that made me cry was how beautiful the story was that the kid told to his dad at the end of the movie about how he was actually dying. It was, oh my God, bro. It was insane. You should give it a watch if you ever do.
What was that? What I was thinking that was going to relate to was, have you ever heard that Aesop Rock song "Regrets"?
I can't imagine it in my head right now.
What
was it about?
2, 3 is the speed of the sea. 3 is the D to the D. Dream a little dream, you could live a little dream, but rather live it, because dream is never dream for something visit or something like that. But the whole point of the song, it's about this girl who draws a lot. In fact, that's the only thing she ever does. And it starts off she's drawing, on chalk outside on the street, and then she's drawing her drawings and becomes a famous painter, and the whole story feels like it's gonna go in an odd direction at some point, but it never really does. It's just kind of about this girl who enjoys drawing and kind of just does that with her life, and then it finally reaches the end of the song, and she she's just about to die, and the nurse or something like that comes to her aid, and she just kind of looks over to her and says, I've never had a dream, because a dream is something that you chase after, but I just wanted to draw my whole life, and so I just did it. So I never had the dream because I was just doing the dream that I wanted, and then she died. And it was just whoa.
That's a crazy idea for a song.
Right? And but at the end of the day, that's all you can hope for in life, right? To just do what you want to do.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
That's how I'm trying to live out here. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. Friggin', I recently...
all over the internet. Look, I'm all over your internet map. Living my best life. Trying to, at least,
Of course. I actually recently had a dream about me giving fake tattoos to some really muscly guy. And I was drawing skulls. I was drawing skulls on his arm and stuff. And I was just yeah, man, life's crazy. I actually drew that painting over there, and I called it cutting off my back in Wyoming. And it was an image of someone sitting on the edge of a bed with their hands in their head in their hands. And there were a couple of people also on the bed or standing above it, and they were different colors. It was someone coming out of the back of the person that had their head in their hands and with a pen in their hand. And it was just I woke up and I was oh, I have to draw that. I have to do that. And that's what that's what I was talking about. But I think I'm gonna name my next album under a secret name. Freaking Writing Off My Back in Wyoming. Because I thought about cutting off my back and rotting off my back. I was like, I couldn't find the exact word I said in my dream. Because you know how it is to remember a dream as soon as you wake up. It just starts to disappear.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Yes, very annoying.
Your brain is like, you don't need all that info, do you?
Yeah, right. But it's like, come on, man, I just got back. Like, at least give me a
That's the most interesting thing that's happened to me all day.
Exactly. But I was able to remember the image in my head. And I drew it on a piece of paper, and then I transferred it to canvas. And
that's cool.
Yeah, now I'm gonna name my next album "Riding Off My Back in Wyoming."
Oh yeah, practice your lucid dreaming, bro. Like, yeah.
Dude,
trying to get on that shit so you can
when I lucid
hear songs in your dreams and bring them into real life and be like, I ripped off myself and it doesn't matter.
That would be fucking crazy. That would be fucking insane if I had the ability.
Your subconscious suits you in your dreams. Like, every time you dream, you have to go to dream court.
No, yeah. Freaking, it's just like, every time I actually steal an idea, they're like, hey, yo, what the fuck are you doing?
It's like, what the fuck?
Like, what? I didn't do anything, I promise. I haven't even made the song yet. Like, what? These guys are just
it's public domain. That's a real life concept, not a dream concept.
Yeah, right. My subconscious would be mad at me and shit. It's just like, what? You put that here for me? Like, what am I supposed to do? Ignore myself? What?
Oh, this is all a metaphor for man versus self. That's what's happening right now. See, what you have to do is start a fight club and then shoot yourself in the side of the face. Don't worry, you'll live.
No, you know, you ever seen?
I saw it in a movie. It'll work.
You saw it in the theater? You saw it in the theater?
Yeah. Yeah, I saw it in a movie. It'll work.
Have you ever actually seen Fight Club?
I did see it in theaters, as a matter of fact. I saw it a bunch of times in theaters because that was the time when my mom worked in a movie theater, so I could see movies whenever I want.
That's so fucking cool. That's so fucking cool. What else did you see? What else did you see?
Look, my brain has a complex mapping of all movies, including Fight Club, American Beauty, the Rugrats first movie. I think the second one too. Fucking Mystery Men, fucking Shrek.
Hey, yo, fucking Shrek.
All the fucking classics.
That's absolutely insane.
Joe, let me tell you something. We were OG fucking heads, me and my sister, of the Shrek franchise, because we had that shit on VHS, and we rewound the fuck out of all those scenes.
Dude.
The fucking Tulak is a perfect place. Please take off of the grass, and you shoes like your face.
So good.
Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yo, you want to know one of my first memories? One of my first memories was after my.
Oh my god.
One of my first memories after my great grandma's funeral. I kept asking my mom to rewind the end of the Shrek movie because we had it on VHS on the green VHS tape, and freaking it would rewind to the end song. It was like, I forgot what song it was. I like Big Butts and I Cannot Lie or some shit like that.
I'm a believer. That one?
Yeah, I'm a believer. I kept asking them to rewind it, and I would just sit there dancing to it and stuff like that. That's one of my first core memories. I remember that.
Classic. But yo, I'm actually getting kind of hungry right now. Let's fucking wrap this up.
Oh yeah, you got it. Is there anything else that you want to plug?
Your fucking butt. If you're a bitch ass punk motherfucker.
Whoa,
with
man.
my butt. Oh, do you like that? Coming at you. Alright, but anyway, that's my incendiary attack on all you internet bitch ass motherfuckers. Come at me. But no, for real. Appreciate you coming through for the stream. You know, check out my music because it's banging. You know what I'm saying? Johnny Maestro. That's my shit. Johnny Maestro with an M-Y, not an M-A-E, because that's hip hop. You know, that's hip hop. You know,
it's Maestro. It's
yeah, that's right. It's
ownership. It's presenting ownership.
I run the show. I'm in control. But yeah. Give it an act like you want it. I especially like my Go Team Venture shit. That shit is so dope. And the bundling up for the winter. You know what I'm saying? That I collabed with this guy. I can't remember who he was, but look, working with so many people. You know, you gotta forget. You know what I'm saying? Some asshole, some guy out there, some white guy out there. You know?
I'm actually Puerto Rican.
Oh shit!
But it's all good, man. It's all good.
Hell yeah, though. But yeah. Definitely check out my new shit because I think it's fun and cool and shit, and it's coming together really well in a way that I'm really enjoying and appreciating. Collaborating with all these people that are really good at what the fuck they're doing. So giving and getting. You know what I'm saying? In terms of like, all right, I got this and they got this. Boom, huddle up. Music is a contact sport. Let's go and make this shit.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah. That's all on my end. Otherwise, Rap Critic, YouTube, Johnny Maestro, keep it act like you want it,
Hey, and I want to thank you so much for being on the pod. I know it's probably beneath you. I know it's probably like just some silly stuff.
That's right. I gotta get on Terry Gross's podcast, bro. We're big league podcasting these days. Come on, get your NPR up.
Yeah, freaking, I appreciate you being on, the FLUE, and, yeah, man, I don't know what else to say. I love you, and you're a great dude on the internet space. I'm glad that we got people like you actually keeping relevant cultural commentary up and uplifting, and
I appreciate that, man. Bless you, man.
Hey, bro, and we're gonna go at it again on that freestyle, Jackbox party game for sure.
Yeah, anytime, any fucking time, come at me. Yeah, let's go.
Shout out Lord Goo Goo and motherfucking Rap Critic. And hey, man, you want to say your peace outs?
Yeah, peace to all the gods on earth. Word is born. Wu-Tang slang, chopping ass boy. It ain't safe no more. Peace.
There you go, bro. Have a good night, man.
Alright, peace, man.
Peace. And there you fucking have it. 2 hours, 9 minutes, some odd of just straight up intellectual speaking. Alright, I had myself a great time. I know that you did too. Why don't you subscribe, any sort of comment, any sort of thing you want to do. We're going to have ourselves a merry good night. And we're shouting out to you. Peace.